So, what do you call the hardworking woman that likes to do math but really loves to help people? A tired woman. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another live episode with Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. So, if you are new, welcome. If you are an old timer or one of the old G's, welcome back. All right, so before I get started with this arithmetic sequence and geometric sequence, I'm just going with the basics of the basics so you be able to feel confident in order to take whatever task hits you this week. So, if anything, if you like what's going on and you need to Google review. Let's go, guys. ACG Math Tutoring. All right, let me break all those concepts down. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to get the replays for all of my TikTok lives. They are on my YouTube channel. Okay, I'm thinking about getting a small group started to please, especially to help people with the GED. And then also, I was on live earlier mentioning that if there's anyone that has a child that's in Baltimore City and they are in desperate need of a tutor, please let them know. Just bring them to my attention so we can get everybody situated, considering they did a major tax cut, which a lot of those extra resources was released. And that happened on Tuesday. And then tomorrow on Friday, a lot more of the after school resources will be done as well. All right, so going with the arithmetic sequence and also the geometric sequence. Arithmetic, that means we have what's called a common difference. All right, so let me take a quick little shot over here. So we're looking at the common difference. When you look at a pattern, what is the difference within that? Okay, so it's either you're increasing or you're decreasing at a constant rate. Kind of sounds familiar, like, I don't know, equation of a line, something like that, okay? So there's two different types. So we have a recursive and then we have an explicit. So I'm probably going to be focusing a lot on the explicit, and I think a lot of the test focuses on the explicit, which has your A1. Your A1 is your first term of that whole series. Your D is going to be the common difference in order for you to get from the one number to the next. And then the N is the term that you're actually looking to achieve. So if I give you a series of numbers, like, let's say, for instance, if I give you -9, -109, -209, -309. And if we keep going on that whole premise, okay, what is my common difference? Okay, put it in the chat. Let me know that you're here, yes or no. What is my common difference? Okay. Hello, Abel. How are you doing? So we got that. We got Pog. Yes. So to take it further, we do have our -100. That would be my common difference. Each one of them, okay, is not going up by 100, because if I said 100 minus 9, okay, that's not going to give me -109, okay? -100 minus 9 will give me a -109, all right? So let's try this one. So if we had -16, -6, +4, and 14. Okay, what is my common difference? I'm going to put it onto the side so I can make sure I get some space. Good. All right. All right. So Pog's saying 10. Abel's saying 10. Anyone else out there that's going to say 10? Is that Cleon? All right. So we have a 10. Okay. And it's going to be a positive 10. So from negative 16 plus 10 gives me negative 6. Negative 6 plus 10 gives me 4. 4 plus 10 gives me 14. All right. So if I take it somewhat like a step further, just a tad bit. So how about let's get in some kind of fractions in here. You're probably like, oh no, Audrey. Oh yes, guys. All right. Oh, as soon as I can find all my stuff, my goodness. How about, oops. So we have 1/5, 23 over 15, 43 over 15, and 21 over 5. What will be my common difference? Ooh. Helon with a C. Celon? Hey, Wendy. What do you guys think? What will be my common difference? Not 22 15s, not 10. The previous one was 10. Totally agree with that. But we're kind of looking at this 1/5, 23 over 15, 43 over 15, 21 over 5. Matthew's saying 4/3. We got 20/15. Okay. Matthew, you got it right. Okay. So it's going to be 4/3. So let's take a look. We're trying to find the difference, the common difference, right? So in order for us to find the common difference, we need to subtract these two. So let's just say if I said 23, okay, over 15 minus my 1/5. Now, anytime we're doing subtraction, we need to have a common denominator. So I need to change this 5 to a 15. Only way I can do that is basically multiply that 5 by 3. Whatever I do in the denominator, I have to do in the numerator. So when I do that, I'm going to get basically a 3. So now that I have a common denominator, I can keep that denominator and subtract the numerators. So Pog, you were close the second time with the 20/15ths, but you can reduce this. What's 20/15? What do they have in common? Good. Hey, Tamika. So they have a 5 in common. So since they have a 5 in common, 20 divided by 5 will give us the 4. And 15 divided by 5 will give you the 3. So the difference between here, the 1/5 and the 23rd 15ths, is going to be 4/3. Okay. All right. Thanks for the heart, Lynette. Don't forget to tap the screen. Thank you. That enjoys your work. Oh, well, thank you. I notice you once in a while, popping in, popping out. All right. So if you want to check to see if it works, you can, instead of messing around with changing the denominators, you can actually just do the subtraction here. So 43 minus the 23 will give me 20/15ths, and then the 20/15ths can be reduced down to 4/3. So sometimes you don't have to start from the very beginning. You could probably see if you can look at the pattern here and then try to kind of do the same denominators to see if you do get the same common difference. All right. See, it's not too bad. All right. So let's say, just out of giggles, that we have so let's say we had 22, 19, 16, 13. And I want you to find the next 3 terms. Okay, I want you to find the next 3 terms. Okay. All right, so Pog is saying 10, 7, and 4. Tamika is saying 10, 7, and 4 as well. Okay. Hello, Asher. All right. What's the common difference? Hey, Lynette, thanks for sharing for the live. Appreciate that. What's the common difference? Okay, so Tamika is saying 3. So if I take 22 minus 3, there we go. Okay, so it's not going to be adding 3. It's actually going to be subtracting the 3. So your common difference is going to be a negative 3. So all you're doing is just basically keeping that pattern going. So 13 minus 3 gives me 10. Okay, 10 minus 3 gives me 7. And 7 minus 3 gives me 4. Now, what if I want to find not only, because that's the first, the second, let me put it down here. So this is the first term, This is the second term, the third term, the fourth term, and what we found was the fifth, sixth, and seventh term. But what if I wanted to find the 19th term? Yeah, I can sit here, keep subtracting by 3. But this is when our formulas come into play. Okay? So by doing this, we can figure out what our 19th term is. So if I use the explicit, so that tells me a to the nth term equals my a to the first term, plus my n minus 1 times the common difference. So this is what's happening. I want to figure out what the 19th term is. So my n is going to be 19. My A1 is the first term in this sequence, which is 22. And since we're looking for the 19th term, we can't include that term. That's why we're taking 1 away, because we already are counting that first term. We don't want it to count twice. So that's the reason why you're doing this term minus 1, because we already started with the first term. Then you're going to multiply that by your common difference, and my common difference is a negative 3. Okay. Sorry, Melinda. Trust me. You're not late. I'm late. Just had to finish up with a client. Okay, so I just kind of got started with this part. So now I want to find the 19th term of this sequence, of this series. So if I'm going to start off with the 22nd term, and I know that 19 minus 1, that's going to be 18. And 18 times the negative 3. So all we're doing is taking your 18 times your negative 3, which gives you a negative 54. So if I have that negative 54 plus that 22, I just found what my 19th term is going to be. It's going to be a negative 32. So if I keep going and I keep subtracting 3 over and over and over again, what's going to happen? Like, yeah, we have up to the 7th term. That's what we found. But we wanted to go to the 19th term. So that means I got to keep track of how many times I'm subtracting 3. And I know after a while, you're going to get a little bit lost in the sauce. So using the formula, you're basically saying, all right, what term do I want to get to? I want to get to the 19th term. What was my first number of the start of the series? Okay, right here, it's at 22. Okay. Then I want to take 1 term away from what I'm looking for because we pulled one of those terms already out. So we don't want the 22 to count for 2 terms. Okay? We just want 1 term per number. And then we remember what the common difference was. So we subtract the number of terms minus 1, which gives me 18. We multiply the 18 by the common difference. Don't forget, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And then we combined the first term with our answer with the multiplication. And then our 19th term is going to be negative 32. Okay. Yes. Hey, Danny boy. Okay? All right? So, that's the reason why we did the n minus 1, because we already started with one of the numbers of the sequence, and we don't want that number to count twice. Okay? Yes. There you go. Good, Puck. All right. So let's try another one before I get to geometrics. Just keep on tapping. Keep on tapping. Okay, so I'll see if I can unzoom a little bit. Okay, take a quick pick. Okay, I'm gonna put this up. Got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay. So now, you're probably like, what are you counting down for? Well, because I'm not going to keep putting these up here. So let's go with this sequence. Let's try this one. So we have 17, 11, 5, -1. So that's my sequence. So the first thing that you should be doing is figuring out what the common difference is. What is the pattern of these numbers? Okay, what is the pattern? Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit. All right, so what is the pattern of those numbers? Okay. Oh, thank you. Yes, yes. Jamie, yes, good. All right, so we are subtracting 6. Now, we can easily figure out what the next term is by just taking that -1 minusing 6, which will give me -7. But let's say I want to get to the 39th term. You're like, say what? Yes. I want to get to the 39th term. So, I don't know about you, but I don't want to just sit here and keep subtracting 6. And then all of a sudden I'm like, where am I? Am I at the 20th one or the 21st? And then now you got to go back and count all over to see where you're supposed to be. No. By using the formula, so we have a to the n is the term that we're looking for, equals a to the first, okay, plus, excuse me, it's been a day. I feel like I can't function anymore. All right, all of a sudden I got a brain fart. Now here we are. Okay, yes, n minus 1, that's right. N minus 1 times my d. Okay. Now, we want to get to the 39th term. So that will be my a to the 39. I'm only putting this here just as a reminder of which of the terms I'm trying to get to. Equals my first term of the sequence. I go back to the sequence. What was my first term? Which is 17. Plus, I'm trying to get to the 39th term. So then I have 39 minus 1. And then we multiply that by our common difference, which is a -6. Okay. Any questions with the setup? Okay. Any questions with the setup? All right. So now, let's do some math. Not like that's not what we've been doing before. So we have our 17 plus 39 minus 1, so that gives me my 38. Okay, we already have one of our terms that we took out. We don't want to count it for twice. So now you have your 38 multiplied by -6. So that means I have 17 plus -228. And then we're going to add 17 to that. So the 39th term, did you guys get -211? Okay. Oh, Mr. Nobody. Hello. Okay. All right. Matthew did. Good. All right. Is it Azara? I'm thinking like Maria. Is it a ma? Is it za? Or Zira? Azira? I'm trying to get names here. Just gotta work with me. All right. Okay. Sometimes I gotta scroll this thing up. Okay. Awesome. All right. Good. It's like Azara. Okay. All right. Nice job. All right. So for the most part, and I'm just trying to get as basic as I can for right now, because I'm not sure how much brain power I have left. I'm not even going to try, because everybody was, was really hitting it. Let me see what I can do to make this just a little challenging before we get to the geometric. I want to make sure we get this. All right, let's try like one more and then we're going to go into the geometric, okay? If you want more than that, I can definitely provide. I did have like a couple extra problems that I can stash out for you. Okay, so let's do... Okay, let's really jump on in here. So we got -32, -1, 32, -2, 32, -3, 32. Okay, so I want you to give me my common difference as well as what would be the 40th term. Okay, give me my common difference as well as what's going to represent my 40th term. Okay, so I'm going to leave you alone. Okay, I'm going to leave you alone with this one. Yeah, geometric sequence is pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, it is. It is. And my only suggestion is how to remember formulas is you're going to have to write them down. You're going to have to write them down. If you want to make cue cards for yourself, you can do that as well. Write arithmetic sequence explicit on one side, and then the other side will be the formula. And just quiz yourself. I always like to say quiz yourself at most 10 minutes a day. That's the only way you're going to, and no more than 10 minutes. Just give yourself 10 minutes. That's it. Okay. So if you can't afford cards, you can just get regular white printer paper, fold them a couple times, sharpen the edges with the nail, and you can make yourself cards that way. So it's not negative 700. You're probably like, I'm just throwing a number up there. See what happens. Okay, I'm going to scroll this down a little bit. Try to use what we do in the previous to solve for this. And a lot of people said that my common difference was negative 100. See what you can do. What will be my 40th term? So you got negative 3,868. Do a quick double check. Tamika, do a quick double check. I got 108. Okay. All right, we're gonna go over in a few. I want to see what other people have gotten before we move on. And you guys can tap while we're waiting. That would be amazing. Okay. Okay. Bingo. So we got negative 3,932. Okay. All right. Let's take a look. So we're looking at the 40th term. So that's a to the 40th. I don't think this is the right color. But my first term of the sequence was a negative 32. We're looking for the 40th, so we're going to take one away because we're already using the very first term of the sequence, so we don't want to count it twice. And then we said the common difference, which was the pattern, was a negative 100. So now we have negative 32 plus 40 minus 1, that gives me 39, times negative 100. Okay. Yes. It's hard to read. Sorry. Okay. All right. So now we have 39 times, because remember, got to do multiplication before doing addition. So 39 times negative 100, that gives me a negative 3,900. Then minus the 32, we will get a negative 3,932. So that will be my 40th term of that sequence. Okay, does that make sense now? Okay. Okay. Do you remember where you went wrong? Because as you can tell, it's like a huge difference from like 108. The multiplication, that's what I was thinking too. Okay. Okay, and you forgot the negative sign. Okay. All right. So you want to do one more to redeem yourself before we get to multiplication? The geometric one? Hey, Algebra Dash, how are you? Welcome on in. We try to just sit here and just relax, do some math, no stress, no strain. It's just us and the math. Okay. Some people in here are trying to take GED, ASVAT, Acuplacer, and they just wanted to, do some acceleration. So right now we're just working on arithmetic and soon to be working on geometric sequence. Just the basics of the basic, not trying to get all crazy. All right. So tell me what my common difference is, as well as telling me, let's go with the 20th term. Tell me what my 20th term is. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. It's been a long day. Lots of tutoring. Lots of tutoring. Oh my God. Thursdays is the nights where I'm just like, can't really do it. Okay. Okay, there you go. All right, so now that you have your D, figure out your placement. And Algebra Dash, like, I'm going to be truthful. We just really just take our time with everything. So if you get bored, that's fine. You can just, more than willing. I'm glad you're able to stop by. But I know I don't do anything like on a speed demon, because I normally have like students that, look, they either struggle with math and they want to build their confidence up. So that's why we just basically take our time around here. Or some people just kind of like the music. Okay. All right. Just need one more person to give me an answer. One or two. Austin. This one was a bit easier. Why was it? Why was it a bit easier? Because you're doing the exact same thing. Was it because of all the negatives? All right, so I had like 3 people telling me 562. So let's take a look. So if we want to get to the 20th term, first we start off with our first term, which is a -8. And it's plus the term that we're looking for, which is 20 minus 1. Because again, just in case people are coming in, we don't want to count the first term twice. So we're doing that subtraction. Then we're going to multiply by 30, which is my common difference. So from here, we have our -8 plus our 19 times 30. So then when we have our 19 times 30, gives us our 570. So we got -8 plus our 570. But then we have to basically subtract 8, which gives us our 562. All right, how do you feel? Okay. Remember to multiply. Good, good. All right, awesome. All right, so that's part of many, but this is the one that you'll see a lot for most assessments. Okay, that arithmetic sequencing. You're finding the common difference, something that you're adding or subtracting. Okay, now, yes, yeah, good. Because trust me, the formula kind of helps a bit. So now we're going to go into the geometric sequence. So if we can, before we get started with that, go ahead, do a little tap palooza. Tap away. And then I'm going to get a couple of examples out and ready to go for us. Yeah, if we can get to 10, that would be amazing. I know there's 13 of us in here, but we're a mighty 13, right? It's like, this is what happens when I come a lot later than I normally would. All right. So I'm just not one of those tutors that would say, oh, time is up. I like to make sure that my students are good before we end the session. And this particular one was not so good today. Just wasn't so good. But hey. But as I always promise, if I promise I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If we can get it to 8, that'll be awesome. I'm not going to be selfish. That'll be fine. If we can get it to 8, I'm good with that. Okay. Hey, Melissa. Okay, that's perfect for me. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so now with the geometric sequences, okay? With the geometric sequence, we have the explicit. Let me zoom in on my little form. Boop. Okay. So there's two different types. There's the explicit and there's the recursive. Now, the recursive is basically when you have to go back to the previous term, okay? The explicit is like when the first term is really given. And sometimes they'll just tell you which one to use. But majority of the time for most assessments, they use the explicit, okay? So it, again, we're going to go to whatever term it is. The A sub 1, that's your first term. Your R is different from your D. Your D was the common difference. Now you're looking at the common ratio. What is being multiplied, okay? Not divided, okay? But what is being multiplied in that sequence for it to go from point A to point B, right? So sometimes you'll look at it and you're like, oh, well, it's division. And I'm like, what is it actually? So that means you got to think of more so like a fraction, all right? And then the term that we're looking for, -1, and now that is an exponent. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this one. Because I'm just going to focus on the explicit because that's what they use a lot for most of the testing. Okay, so if we look at the first two, now the first two, I just want you to tell me what is my common difference. Okay, what is my common difference? What is my, not common difference, geez. What is my common ratio? I just said that earlier, didn't I? Yep, you can tell. Loopy. How are you, Melissa? So glad you could stop on in. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. So the first one, what is my common ratio? What's the pattern? It's too late. Oh, Marilyn, don't worry, because I came on late as well. I was supposed to be here at 9:30 and I got here at 10. So please don't feel bad. And then also, like, I know you want to be a part of it, which is awesome. But I tried to put the replays on my YouTube channel. So right now, all of them should be up there by now. Even the one from last night is up there now. Okay. This one might take me a little bit, but not too long. All right. So at least you can catch the beginning if you ever get stuck. Okay. All right. So a lot of people are saying that the difference is being multiplied by 5. Okay, -1 times 5 gives me -5. -5 times 5 gives me -25. -25 times 5 gives me -125. So yes. So we always want to make sure we get the number and the correct signage. So now for the next one, some people are saying, Pog is saying like 1/3. What do you guys think? Do you agree that the pattern is 1/3? Okay. Hey, Austin. Okay. Is that pattern that 1/3? Hello, Bianca. Just working on the geometric sequences. Okay. Yes, 1/3. Okay. Because if you take a look, 1/3 of 3. Okay, so if I look at -3 times 1/3, the 3's will cancel out and leaves me with a -1. Okay, this is what's called cross simplifying. Because anytime you multiply a whole number with a fraction, you can put it over 1. And if you want, you can multiply straight across and then divide to get your answer. Okay? Or you can just cross simplify. So what 3's have in common is 3's. All right? So then boom, boom, the 3 divided by 3 gives me 1. And since there was a negative up here, -1 times 1 will give me my -1. Okay? So my common ratio is 3. So if I wanted to find, don't need that. So if I wanted to find my, let's see, let's try this one. I'll see if I make it nice and big. So if I have 3, comma, -15, comma, 75, comma, -375. And I wanted to find my common ratio. Okay, I want to find my R. As well as I want to know what the 31st term will be. What would that look like? All right. So first off, what's my common ratio? So I see a -5. I see a -5. Good job. Yeah. Keeps freezing for you? Right. So we have our -5. Okay. So if my common ratio is -5 and I want to find the 31st term, so we're going to go through this whole sequence. We have our first term times our R, which is raised to the n minus 1. Okay, good. There you go. So my first term of the sequence goes in the A1. So that'll be 3. Now my R, we found it to be a -5. And we're going to the 31st term. 5. And we're going to the 31st term. -1. Okay. So that means you have 3 times -5 raised to the 30th. Please don't do this. Do not multiply the 3 and the -5. I know it's going to be tempting. It's almost like seeing someone across the road and you're like, ooh, he or she is delicious, but you can't touch. You get arrested that way, okay? So it's tempting, okay? But you want to take care of the exponent first, okay? Now, when you put it in your calculator, please put the -5 inside a parenthesis, Okay? The reason why you're doing that, because if you just type in -5, what the calculator will do, it will raise the 5 to the 30th power and then tack on the negative at the end. So if you ever notice, I always, every time there is like a negative, I always put parentheses around it. So we're definitely going to hit that exponent. Okay? Now, this is a very large number. Well, smallish. No, large. So now we're going to make it even larger. Multiply by 3. Did anyone get anything at the end that has like an E in there? Yeah, the 21. Yep. So that means, let me put it on here, that your crazy tutor just went a little buck crazy. Something like this. Does anyone know what that E stands for? I do. I just want to know if you guys do. That's a long number, right? So you ever heard of scientific notation? Or, when it has like a base of 10 raised to an exponent? There it is. Hey, John. I know John knows. Okay. So it's basically telling you, since it's a positive 21, that we're dealing with a large number. So I know I can move this decimal place over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 right here. And I know I definitely got some more digits to deal with. So about, of course, like additional 12, right? They could be zeros, they could be other numbers, but it's going to be a huge. I love when kids say like 542. Wow, that's a big number. I'm like, dude, seriously? You haven't met huge until now. 1 second, let me get this lined up. Oh, wait. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay, all right. Gotta love the puzzle pieces. Okay. Oops. Almost lost my life here. All right. Okay. So that's basically how you're going to find it using a geometric sequence. Okay. If you can get this formula, especially this part right here, under your wraps, write it out. Okay. That's the best way that you can help her memorize it. You can't just flip through pages in the book and like, oh yeah, I know how to do that. Like, no, you're going to have to try some stuff out. All right, so let's try. Okay, let me leave you alone with this one. As soon as I get my right pennage. So we have -4, -12, -36. -108. Okay. And I want you to give me we'll go the 12th term. Okay. Tell me what the 12th term is. And if you have your answers, go ahead and put it in the chat. Well, thank you, Roy. I want to know the 12th term. Okay, you guys ready? Okay, what do you guys get for some answers? And remember, question marks are also an answer for me. You're like, yeah, I don't know, Audrey, I'm not sure. But if you did get an answer, and even if you feel that it might be wrong, still put it down. You know, we got to feel confident with our answers. Okay? Okay, Tamika. So close. There's just one thing missing. Zara? I think there's one thing that was missing with yours, and I think it might be the exponent. Okay, Alex, very close. Something's missing. There it is. There it is. Okay, so we see it. All right, so we have our first term, which is the -4. Okay, my R, what was my R? What was my R? Tres? Love it. Yes. Okay. Yes, so we got our threes, our tres. Oh, so now we have our n, so we're trying to get to 12 minus 1. The reason why we're subtracting 1, especially for those that came later, hey, we already started off with our first term. Okay, we don't want this first term to be counted twice. We only need one term, one number. Okay, so we'll do the exponent first, which gives me 11. So then we have 3 to the 11th power. Okay, that's when it got all kinds of crazy. So we got -4 and then 3 to the 11th power. So that gives me my 17, 7, 1, 47. All right. And then we multiply it not by 4, but by the negative 4, which gives us an answer of negative 708, 588. And that was your 12th term. Okay. All right, so how are you guys feeling? How are you feeling about this? Does it make sense? So the arithmetic one, you're looking at the common difference. So you're looking at what's it adding or subtracting. Okay, good. All right, for the geometrics, you're looking at what is being multiplied. Okay, what is that common ratio that's being multiplied to get from one number to the other? Okay, kind of in the middle. Hey, that's fine, because that's better than what you were when you first started, right? So, I mean, we're not supposed to be experts after we see like 2 examples. It takes a little bit. All right. So let's step up just a little more. So what happens if I said that I gave you, okay, so here's another example. So say that I gave you your first term is a negative 3. I don't know what's up with me in the negative 3s lately, but here we are. Okay, so your first term is negative 3, and your R is negative 5. Tell me what my 7th term would be. So if I just gave it to you just like this, tell me what my 7th term would be. Hey, Genesis. 15 to the 6th power? No. Because let me kind of fill you in, Genesis, while everyone else is working on it. So we're looking at geometric sequence. So there is a starting number of the term, okay, that gives me a common ratio. So basically, what is this pattern being increased by through multiplication? And then the term that you're trying to get to, minus 1. And the reason why we minus 1 is because we're already using one of the terms in that sequence, and we don't want to count it for 2. So in this sequence up here, we started off with a 3, negative 15, 75, negative 3, 75. So my first term was a 3. The ratio for me to get from 3 to negative 15 was multiplied by 5. If I wanted negative 15 times negative 5, it would give me 75. So that right away is telling me that my common ratio is the negative 5. And I wanted us to get to the 31st term, so it's 31 minus 1. All right, so 31 minus 1 gives me 30. And then we try to raise everything Yeah, to the 30th power. Yeah. And then you multiply by 3, and you get this lovely little answer right there. Okay. Does that make sense? Because it's getting to that point in the night where I feel like I'm starting to mumble. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. All right. So if you have your answers, go ahead and put it in the chat. Let me see what you got. Let me see what you got. Okay, good. Okay, 1.3 times 10 to the 7th. No, not quite, Marianne. Because right now we're not doing anything with base 10. So you're thinking of scientific notation. But this is geometric sequence. So we want to kind of look at the pattern that's being multiplied. Okay, that's being multiplied. Okay. Any other possibilities? How do you know you got it wrong? Let's see what you got. Let's see. That's how we're going to learn. Make mistakes. Because, hey, I'm not perfect. It took me a long time to feel comfortable just to teach this. Because I told you, I used to stink at math. Okay. Thanks, Matthew. Okay. All right, Marianne. Yeah, I see it. Okay, so Marianne switched it up to a negative. Okay. Both of you are correct. Right? So, our starting number was -3. Multiplied by the r, which is -5. And we're trying to get to 7 minus 1. So if you have -3 times -5, 7 minus 1 will give me 6. Now, make sure you're multiplying the -5 to the 6th power. So -5 to the raised to the 6th power, I like to put parentheses around it because, as I say that, okay, because if not, the calculator will just take the 5, raise it to the 6th power, and then tack on the negative at the end. So we actually got 15,625. Okay, and this is being multiplied to -3. So then if I times this by -3, I get -46,875. That is going to be the 7th term in that geometric sequence. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, wow. Look who's learning. To the 6th power and then times it. Yes. Yes, it will be. So -5. And like I said, Genesis, please make sure you put parentheses around the -5 when you square it. Because if not, the calculator will square the 5 and then throw the negative on the end. Okay? Yes. Yes, Joe. Yep. All you have to do is just take it out a little bit further. Okay? All right. Good. Nicely done. Oh, I think I'm wrong. All right. I should end my lives today. Because I can feel myself trying to be super, super silly. All right. So this is what we basically did. So we worked on the geometric sequences. Let me see if I can unzoom. I'm going to leave this up here for a moment So if you want to screenshot it, I'm going to take it down in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. And then we have the arithmetic as well. So what I'm going to do next, I'll be live tomorrow, but at 1 o'clock, because tomorrow's Friday. But if you do kind of like the display, you like how my notebook is organized, and you were like, you know what, I really would love to have a notebook like that. Okay, this is basically designed for students that are in 7th grade on up. And if you have trouble with your multiplication tables, not only does it have 100 of the sheets, it also has the factor sheet. So if you have to do like breaking down radicals or doing some factoring, we have all that. Plus, in addition to all these things, we have references for the most popular things that people go through in Algebra 1, Algebra 2, a little bit of geometry, which I am working on a geometry-only notebook. Yeah, that's a task and a half, but here we are. So, but for this one, at least it gives you like the general information, a little bit about transformation, also surface area, volume. I know, it's time for me to go to bed. Okay, dealing with the trig, the Pythagorean theorem, and then also I was working with a kid today on the unit circle. So if you're interested, I am currently selling them on Amazon. I am working on getting myself self-published so people can have these. And these copies of my notes, I will be selling them through my website soon. I just have to do a couple more scans and then organize it, and that'll be ready to go. Probably maybe Saturday this weekend. All right. So tomorrow let me see if I can give you a sneak peek. It's either going to be work a little bit on probability, or I'm going to be working on inscribe quadrilaterals. I think it's going to be inscribe quadrilaterals, to be honest with you, because I do have a couple kids that was working on that today. So inscribe quadrilaterals, and then probability probably going to be on Saturday. I'm going to try to get on here. It shouldn't be too crazy. Might be another Saturday night. And then I'm not sure what's going on with Sunday, but you never know. Something fun might happen. All right. So thanks again for stopping in. I greatly appreciate you guys. I mean, you could be doing other things tonight other than listening to me hammering on about math and life. But if you do have a moment, please, if you can go. Actually, let me see if I can put the link. But I'm learning to tutor assist. Yes. Oh, good. It's like, where can you find the book? It's on Amazon, but I do have a link to it on my website. If you click on my profile and go to ACG Math Tutoring, the website, and you can just look up Ultimate Math Notebook. I have one for permutations, combinations, factorials. Oh, I wasn't even going to get to that one. I was just going to do the general ones. But hey, I guess I'm going to be adding that to it too. All right, not a problem. So if anything, let me see if I can find my link to make it a lot easier for you guys to find it. And of course, my link is not there anymore. Oh well. But if anything, you could just go do a Google review, ACG Math Tutoring. If you could just type a nice review. I'm trying to get to like 100. The more activity that I have on my Google business, it more draws people to my account. And just how I can break stuff down, and especially now a lot of parents are looking for something because some federal governments are closing down some tutoring sessions. They did it for Baltimore City on Tuesday. Any after-school tutoring that kids were getting for free, they shut that down. and any kind of after school activities for kids, like I want to say Head Start and what they used to have, like some other things like for after school activities. Yeah, they're getting rid of all of that. That shuts down tomorrow. So, but we're all just trying to do what I can do to help others, like parents and kids, just to break that cycle from I can't do math and it's hereditary to I can do math and I feel a little confident with it. That's what I want everyone to have, that feeling of confidence. I guess it was something that I lacked when I was growing up. But as I said before, I'm going to work on uploading and just subscribe to my YouTube channel, Audrey Codner, ACG Math Tutoring. All the lives of my TikToks, I think there's a couple that's not on there yet, but majority of my lives are on there. So you can watch the replays there. And yep, just look for Audrey Codner. Just do it. Right? And the live schedule, I don't even know. Every time I have a schedule, I get a new client. So maybe that's a good thing for me, but it's all kinds of wacky patacky for you. But I will be here tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, and like I said, I'm going to go over either probability or I think I'm going to be doing inscribed quadrilaterals because I know some people are probably getting into that. All right. So have a lovely night. I'm going to go pass out because I know I have to get up in the next 3, possibly 4 hours because I have to get back to the gym and start the day all over again. So have a lovely weekend. Be safe. Keep being awesome. Keep learning. Keep wanting to improve yourself. I love it. I love hearing your success stories. I love getting new followers. I'm just here to be a servant of God and just to help you guys out. All right. So have a lovely evening. Thank you so much for sharing the lives. Thank you for the loves. Oh my goodness. 11.3. Man, you guys are mad tapping. I was like, you're going to have to ice your thumbs. Not a problem. And if anyone needs like a private tutor, maybe they have a child or they know someone that needs to catch up on work over the Easter break, because some teachers do that as well, and this kid cannot do it by themselves and you just need someone to assist them, go ahead and reach out to me or share my information to that person. They might be taking ALEX. They might be just like getting some papers completed. Maybe they had a teacher that is just bold enough to give a project, over Easter break, knowing that they're not going to be grading it. But that's my side note. But if you do know somebody that's going through all that, please pass my information on to them. Okay? Yes, not a problem. All right, have a lovely evening, and I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. Okay? If not, I will see you guys the weekend or next week. All right, take care. Bye now.